All right. We are officially live. We are on being recorded to the cloud for the podcast. We are officially being broadcast over Facebook. I didn't do the all hell Zuckerberg. However, this is a Whiskey Wednesday gone wild. Italiano style.
It's Grappa Wednesday! Woo! Grappa, Grappa!
So I have the pleasure of introducing Francesca Nonino, uh, officially global brand ambassador. Like, what's your title, or
So I
what do you do here?
I drink
That's it.
Grappa.
You fit right in with this crowd.
No, so like my official title is digital brand manager for Nonino Distillatori, but I work for a family business.
Sure.
So when you work for a family business, you are like in Italy we say like parsley. You go everywhere, you do everything by request. Or in another Italian way, I would say that I am a tappabuchi. So if there is something that other member of the family do not want to do, that's me.
There you go. It's kind of like what I do around here sometimes. Whatever he wants me to do, I do.
Yeah, but without us.
Everything goes down.
Yeah.
But look at these people, though. We have a lot of people in here tonight, which is awesome. And you look like you have them eating out of the palm of your hand.
The pumice out of my hand. The
That's
raw
yeah.
material for making grappa.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So I'm going to play the part of an ignorant American
Mm-hmm.
and maybe do a stupid fake Italian accent every once in a while. I don't know a lot about Italian culture, but I think I did tell you that this is going to be my very first time tasting grappa. I have not had grappa, so I'm really looking forward to this. I wanted it to be here on camera first before I actually got to anything, so it's all good.
Yes, but as I told you before, I asked the permission. They told me that I couldn't say bad words. Sorry, but I'm Italian and English is not my native language, so I really need to be able to be straightforward. And I told him that it's gonna be the best fucking grappa of his life.
That's
It
right.
started with the best.
We're off to a fantastic start. I'm gonna love this. So are you guys. Um, so I guess the brand ambassador. So you're here in the
Mhm.
States. You're being like parsley, traveling
Yes.
around. Did you? So I caught on there. You said you were digital.
Communication manager, yes.
So have you been filming a lot? Like, what's going on here?
So like let's say that I've been recognized as the grappa influencer because the thing was that when I enter, so I'm Francesca, I'm the sixth generation of Nonino family. We are a family of distillers in Friuli Venezia Giulia, the northeast region of Italy, since 1897. And when I always listen to all my family members talking about Grappa, about Nonino, and I was so moved, so proud of our family. But the problem was to me that there was a big discrepancy between what we were and how we communicated ourselves. Because even if the brand has a really strong reputation, because quality is first, then we're gonna sing more into the details about how to recognize artisanal grappa, fresh pomace, and everything. But the thing was that we really are the typical casa bottega italiana. Casa bottega would translate into house slash company. I mean that where I work, there is the company, and not even them, I do not know miles, not even feet. But like from here to there is the office and my grandmother's house. In that house, my grandfather was born. My grandfather died in that house last year. Like, it's like everything happened in there. Like one of the biggest blessing of working in the family business is that I can have my lunch break at Nonna's. No,
Ah,
I'm telling you.
awesome.
So like the thing is that we're really like the typical warm, super genuine Italian family, company, etc. But the thing was that when we were talking about ourselves or people were talking about us on journal, on article, we only talk about the excellence of everything that there is, but not about the authenticity. Like the thing is that if you're gonna come visit us, you're gonna come eat at the same table with my grandmother. My grandmother will give you little love slap, little kisses. You're gonna be fed. You're gonna drink all the stuff that we have. You're gonna feel part of our family. And I love that type of authenticity, genuinity, because it's part of this, the quality, but the genuinity as well. Like we are we are a crazy family, crazy passionate about grappa, crazy passionate about hospitality, about feeling, making you feel welcome in our family, in our house. Nonetheless, this part was never seen, sorry for my English, in our communication. So what I tried to do was to make people, like to cut what I call the wall of politeness and bring a little bit more reality. So I wanted people that saw even on their phone our company to feel like they really knew us. And so I started to do a lot of story involving a lot of my grandmother, and were something that were all handmade, because normally when we do like a professional video in Italy, it costs you at least 2,000 euros.
Yeah.
Like this, I was able to show everything, every little detail that is part of our history, just with my face and an iPhone. And I do not even have a tripod. I use grappa bottle to put the phone and do like, oh my face. So it became really genuine, really authentic. And during this process, I've been recognized as the grappa influencer. And so I started to talk about grappa all over internet, all over Italy. And then it was just like, how can we say it? Like we call it circolo virtuoso in Italy. You know, when you do something good and then good things attract other good things. And so this grappa influencer thing become bigger, bigger, bigger and bigger.
Sure.
And then I got here. I'm doing this amazing podcast with you. The
Well,
biggest goal in my life.
so being the biggest goal of your life, whoa, you need better goals.
You told me it was the best of my trip, this, right?
Well, it'd probably be the best stop that you have in your American visit for sure. Look at these people. I mean, come on. Yeah.
Applaud to them. Thank you for trusting a non-whiskey Wednesday. You won't regret it.
So being the eighth generation, you said sixth generation, pardon me. So being sixth generation, so I was catching, so you were painting a vivid picture of your family life.
Yeah.
And so this is like your job to bring social media and this type of experience.
Yes.
To bring your family out into that world.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes. But also, the thing is that to me, it's all about edutainment. It's like I like to talk about the technical stuff, but mix it also to make fun. Also because I have to tell one thing. It's not possible that you talk about booze and make it boring. There is something really wrong. So I want it to be fun, but also I want you to feel like you learned something. And of course, I want you to go out of this place all turn into Nonino lovers. So.
All right. Are you
I wanted first to give a little bit of information about what is grappa.
Please, yeah.
Okay. Are you ready? This is your first grappa?
So yes, I know very little. I just know the very basics.
Okay. So, Francesca Nonino, sixth generation of Nonino family of distillers since 1897 in Friuli, Venezia Giulia. And if we're able to talk about grappa, the most ancient traditional spirit of Italy outside of Italian border, it's because of those two crazy people that are my grandparents, aka the queen and king of grappa. Because my grandparents were the one that believed for the first time ever that grappa could be something different from firewater. When we're talking about grappa, we're talking about the most traditional spirit of Italy, because to be able to make grappa, you need to be distilling Italian pomace in Italy, otherwise it's not grappa, it's pomace eau de vie. And just to give you a visual image, imagine to have a grape in your hand. You squeeze it, the juice come out. What you have in your hand, the skin, the residual pulp, that is pomace. And at the beginning of time, in the 15th century, pomace was just considered a waste, a leftover of winemaking. But farmers, overall in my region, were so poor they couldn't allow themselves to waste anything. And so they understood that because pomace contains sugar, it could be fermented. And because it could be fermented, it could be distilled. But the thing was that distilling, it was, and even is nowadays, illegal at home. Do not drink homemade grappa. You need to ask people if they did I don't know how to translate that, but trust me, the gastromatographo, that is a test that declared that grappa, not that it's good, that grappa, it's okay for human consumption. So if they make homemade grappa, like you drink it, No, thank you. It's better to have industrial grappa because at least you know that it's safe than homemade grappa.
So do you have a tester that does this job for you that will test it to make
Yes,
sure that it's okay?
everything. Like everything, you cannot like when you distill the grappa cannot go out of your distillery if you did not do this test because it's for human consumption. You need to have this okay. Anyhow,
Job
so
opportunity. That's where I was going because some of these guys want
grappa
that job.
taster. So like the thing was that the grappa was considered this poor product made by poor people. And it was also called not only grappa, but the fire water that is able to burn away even hunger. Just to give you an idea, grappa wasn't like an everyday remedies. I don't know. It's crazy cold outside, you pour a little bit of grappa in your coffee. Your baby's crying too much, finger in a bottle of grappa, finger in the mouth of the baby. Or like, I don't know, if you some muscle ache, you massage yourself with grappa, you perform yourself with grappa. Grappa was used for everything. Nonetheless, when my grandmother fell in love with my grandfather, the fourth generation in the Nonino family, she understood that the grappa my grandfather was making was different for a really simple but fundamental reason. For making a bottle of grappa this size, we need to distill between 30 to 40, you say it.
30 to 40.
Thank you.
All right.
Pounds of pomace.
You're doing fine.
I know, double digit that start with 3 or 4 are,
You're good.
I cannot.
30, 40. You're good.
Yes, exactly. Pounds of pomace. That means that during the harvest, there are mountains of pomace. And for this reason, because the average artisanal distillery in Italy has maximum 12 pot still, the law allowed the distillery to storage their pomace up to 8 months. So they keep distilling up to 8 months per year. But there is a big problem. Pomace is the part of the grape that contains the most aromatic characteristic. Nonetheless, because you press the grape for making the pomace, the yeast in the skin of the grape get in contact with the pulp, making happen the fermentation process. That can be good because transforms sugar into alcohol, but also really bad because there is secondary fermentation if it's not under control.
Burn.
It gives to the creation of methylic alcohol. Methylic, right?
Methylic alcohol. No.
Yes. Bad taste and bad perfume. Even if you just wait 5 hours. So my grandfather did something that was considered completely crazy for the sector. While the other distillery, maximum 12 pot still, and distill storage pomace up to 8 months, he built a distillery with 66 artisanal pot still. But those 66 artisanal pot still distill pomace that was pressed maximum 1 hour and a half before. We distill 95% of the pomace from our own region to be able to guarantee a minimum transportation time. And we distill only during the harvest. So 8 weeks per year, not 8 months, pomace super fresh. And to be able to respect the freshest, the best quality of the pomace, we distill even at night. Just to give you an idea, my grandfather passed away last year. He was 90 years old. He broke up his leg 3 years prior because during the night he wake up and he wanted to go down the stairs to check the night distillation event.
So it's literally distilling like 24 hours a day.
Yes.
And how big are the stills?
Damn it.
It's like 66 of them, you said, right?
66. Each pot still contain 300 kilograms. That is like 750 pounds of pomace.
It's a pretty big size still. So you said just 6 of them or 66 of them?
66.
66.
Yeah, but consider that to make a bottle of this, you need 40 pounds.
Sure, yeah.
So like...
Makes sense.
It's
you have to do a lot to get some.
Yes.
Yeah, because they're all squished.
And so like my grandfather did this crazy thing, this investment in this distillery that was allowed to really respect the freshness of the raw material, but was not yet enough because the prejudice among the consumer about grappa was still too strong. So they had another idea. And after this, I swear that we're going to start drinking because I'm talking too much. But
we're okay. We're nerds here too, so this is all good.
Awesome. They had another idea. Traditionally, because pomace was considered a waste, all different pomace from different type of grape varietal were all mixed together, and distillers used to go to the wineries, collect it, and distill it. My grandmother and my grandfather had an idea. What if, instead of distilling all mixed pomace together, we selected a pomace from a specific grape varietal to try to see if we're able to make immediate for the consumer the connection between the quality of the raw material and the final spirit. Now it seems pretty easy to say so because everybody now do single varietal grappa. But at the time, consider that my grandmother was the same age of me now, 35, and she went to winemakers, a really male-dominated sector, a really ancient one, to ask them to do something completely different from what they were used to do since generation. When my grandmother went to the winemakers to ask them to keep each varietal of pomace separate from the other, the answer was, "Woman, you are crazy. We will never take the time to do that." And my grandma, she's 87 years old now, and she can still kick asses, you can imagine 52 years ago. She went back, not to the distillery, to their houses. She spoke to their wives, and thanks to girl power,
Of course.
and thanks to women cooperation, she was able to collect the first single varietal pomace. And the 1st December 1973, to what is called today the Grappa Revolution, the creation of single varietal grappa, that in Italian it's monovitigno, it's a copyrighted name because it's our creation. It completely changed the perception of the consumer of grappa. And I was not born yet, but this is my favorite part of the story. As soon as the first drop of heart of the single varietal grappa came out of the glass bell, my grandmother started shouting to my grandfather, "We did it! We did it!" Because just from the perfume of those few drops of grappa, they were able to immediately make the connection between the spirit and the same perfume they were able to appreciate of in the vineyard the pomace came from. And if we're able, finally now to start to drink, please take the grappa number 1. We're gonna start with Merlot. We call it Merlot with a strong T because we distill 95% of pomace from Friuli Venezia Giulia, and in Friuli Venezia Giulia we call it Merlot. And this is an amazing grape varietal for grappa because this can really show you how good as master distiller we are. Me not yet, but my mom, yes. Because Merlot is not a really aromatic type of grape varietal. Nonetheless, in here you're really able to appreciate the characteristic, the personality of this vineyard. It has this beautiful plum, cherry type of notes, a little bit of herbs. And please remember what I told you. Grappa was the perception of grappa. Grappa was the fire water. Please taste it. First appreciate with your nose, then with your mouth, and appreciate the complexity, the harmony between nose to palate, and tell me if this is fire water. It's 82 proof, but it's so smooth, so velvety. This is because of the freshness of the pomace and the quality of the distillation method.
You got me nervous when you first started talking earlier off camera about, like, since this was my first time trying grappa. This is fantastic.
Hell yeah.
This is really, it's bright, it's beautiful, it's perfumey. There's a lot of fruits going on there. Like, I'm getting berries and strawberries, and that's really nice.
Thank you. In
It's
fact,
very easy to
I have to tell you this, and I know that I'm a little bit rude, but most of the time when I used to come to United States, I had two different type of approach. There were people that never had grappa and they were curious, or people that have been traumatized because they've been to Italy, to touristic place where they give you the worst quality grappa for free. And so they were like, "Oh, no, grappa, it's gasoline." And I was like, "Can you please try my grappa? It's different." And then they tasted it like, "But this doesn't taste like grappa." I'm like, "Sorry, you had shitty grappa all your life. There is shitty grappa and there is good grappa."
So all grappa is this good, is what you're saying.
If it's Nonino, yes.
It's
I can guarantee you for Nonino.
all right.
But please, now take the grappa number 2, the Moscato, and please try to understand how different these two products are. Both grappa, but two completely different words. If Merlot was fruity, here we have floral, damn it, floral. Roses, orange blossom, sage, vanilla, chamomile, jasmine, and I have to say to you one thing. Grappa Moscato teach me how the tasting experience with grappa can change culture to culture. I remember it was one of the first time that I did a distillery tour to a journalist, and it was a Japanese journalist. It was during the harvest, and as soon as he entered in our distillery, we were distilling Moscato pomace, he said to me, "What is this green tea smell?" I was like, "Oh my God, it does smell like green tea," but green tea, it's not part of Italian culture. I never drink green tea when I was 20-something. But as soon as he said me that thing, now I'm able to appreciate green tea every time that I'm tasting Moscato Grappa. And I'm saying this because I'm a sommelier at WSET for level, but I hate when people are like, "You're supposed to taste this, and that." Like, if I'm smelling this, I'm smelling this. And if you smell something different, don't be shy. There is nothing wrong. Share it. Let's make each other degustation experience richer and richer.
I think most of the people here are okay with that because I think, I call it planting seeds, where you tell somebody it tastes like green tea, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh yeah, it tastes like green tea," or but There is no wrong answer, and people say it tastes like unicorn farts and all that stuff too, and it's all good, right? See? Yep.
Unicorn fart.
There you
Yeah,
go.
thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome. Um, but yeah, that one is very pretty. Like I definitely for sure got like the rose water and the orange blossom on the nose, but even more so in the finish that comes off of that, the orange blossom and that citrus
Right?
is gorgeous. That just goes on and on.
Don't make me blush. And like, even if they're both the same proof, we're talking about 82 proof for each, even the Chardonnay. The Moscato seems lighter because it's made with an aromatic type of pomace. And so it's sweeter, it's softer in a sort of way. And I have to tell you one thing. I'm going to tell you a lot of things, I'm sorry, but um, so of course I want you to all turn into Nonino lovers. Nonetheless, another really important thing for me is that I want you to be people that know what they're drinking. Drinking responsibly doesn't only mean to drink in limited quantity or with your head, but also means to know what type of product you're purchasing and you're tasting and you're drinking. And I'm saying this because sadly, in the spirit sector, there is a lot of lack of transparency. Even for people that are professional in this business, can be really tricky to understand if they're purchasing or buying industrial or artisanal spirits. And one of the most common way to try to trick the consumer is to talk on the label of the bottle about the fact that that brand own an artisanal distillery. But pay attention.
What does artisanal mean?
No,
Right?
no, no, no. In this case, artisanal mean artisanal.
All right.
But the tricky part arrive here. One thing is to own an artisanal distillery. Another thing is to using that fucking artisanal distillery to distill the product that you're selling. Two completely different things. In Italy, 80% of the grappa you can find are made by 5 industrial distilleries. And the problem is that if you purchase foolproof grappa from a third distillery, because the grappa when it come out of the glass bell has a proof that is between 130 to 180, and so you need to decrease the alcohol content adding the mineralized water. And just because you added the mineralized water to the grappa that was distilled by someone else, allowed yourself to be called the producer because you did the last transformation process. And for this reason, and we are the only one that do that, we write on all our grappa bottle 100% distilled with artisanal method because we own an artisanal distillery and we use that fucking artisanal distillery. And we want to prove that to you on the label because you cannot declare false stuff on the label, otherwise on the social media you can be more creative. On the label, okay, so this
Too many rules.
is a really important thing.
Sure, yeah.
But the third grappa you can see by the color that is a little bit different. This is still a single varietal grappa, but it was aged for 12 months in French oak, small barrel, so that it gives a lot of color, a lot of perfume. And the main goal of this 12 months of aging was to be able to make the Chardonnay personality smoother. It's the number 3, because I know the color seems similar to L'Aperitivo, but no. Two completely different products. And this aging added to the Grappa this amazing perfume of the tertiary. We have we still appreciate this green apple notes of Chardonnay, a little bit of herbs, but we also have these beautiful, beautiful almonds, honey,
Milk chocolate.
milk chocolate, and a beautiful coffee aftertaste. And if you feel the texture of it, you can feel that it's a little bit more oily. It's richer. It's a little bit more persistent. And there is another super important thing I want to tell you. So there is this legend that a darker a spirit is, the more aged it was. I'm sorry, but this is bullshit. And it's bullshit for many reasons. The color of a spirit depends by so many different things. First thing, how big is the barrel that you use for the aging? Of course, the smaller the barrel, the more color it gives. The bigger the barrel, the less color it gives, because the contact wood to spirit,
Sure.
it's less. Second thing, did you use a new barrel or an already used barrel? For example, and we're going to talk about that when we talk about Amaro Nonino Riserva, most of our barrique, that means small barrel, are from French oak, Nevers, Limousin, Grésine. But we also have ex-sherry barrique from Erez della Frontera. The ex-sherry barrique give a smokiness that is unbelievable, but give less color because they already contain sherry, and they gave the strength of coloring.
Spanish flair. Is that what you call it? Sherry? Spanish flair?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you use an already used barrique, the color will be less dark. But also, and here is the tricky part, in most spirit, you are able to put up to 2% of caramel color without the need to declare it. But in the case of Grappa Nonino, we're proud to be able to say that you're smelling, you're tasting, and you're looking at natural aging. In the back of all of our aged Grappa, we write 0% color added, just because we want to prove that this is just given by the slow pass of time inside of French oak. So, here are the first three Grappa. No, here are the old Grappa.
All the grappa.
Chardonnay, French oak. Sorry. No, don't worry. No, please ask question. It's beautiful. There is nothing wrong. I'm happy. And there is another thing that I want to highlight. The thing about creating the first single varietal grappa opened up so many opportunities for grappa as a spirit, because before in Italy, grappa was only seen as a digestive or a medicine almost. After the creation of the first single varietal grappa, we opened up grappa for new, completely different market. Grappa became part of recipe even in Michelin star restaurant. For example, Chardonnay is being used for making a rabbit broth in a beautiful Michelin star restaurant. It became grappa became part of so many different type of dessert. Grappa nonino and paired with dessert, it's a mwah mwah mwah. But also, mixologists from all over the world are starting to love and make a lot of grappa cocktail, because there is nothing that represents more Italian culture and Italian excellence than mixing grappa. And the thing is that nowadays people want to drink less, but want to drink better. People
Yeah,
are becoming
absolutely.
like, we never had a market, we never had consumer that were so much prepared. They knew so much about spirit, and this type of people want to drink quality, and do not only want to drink quality, but also they want to have a beautiful storytelling. And bartenders that are in the most beautiful bar all over the world create cocktails that are able to put together the story of the bar and the story of the brand they are mixing. And I cannot tell you how delicious it is for me to rediscover my own family product every time I taste a different cocktail. And Grappa, Nonino and cocktail, it's fucking incredible. There is this cocktail, I don't know if you ever heard about Monica Berg. She's a Norwegian bartender. She has a cocktail bar in London. She created 3 different cocktails using Moscato Grappa, and her way of creating it, it was like, okay, I'm gonna start tasting the Grappa by itself, and she was like, okay, in here I can appreciate jasmine notes. Because she appreciated jasmine notes, she created this cocktail that is called jasmine gimlet using Moscato. Then Moscato Grappa reminds them a little bit of Pisco. So she was like, you know what, I want to make a Pisco sour twist. And she created this cocktail Italiano that mixes Moscato Grappa with ginger ale and a cordial made with bitter orange blossom. I could drink like 2,000 of them. They're so light and refreshing. And then, because she was able to appreciate patchouli in our grappa, she created this chinotto Negroni. And she told me this thing, and I thought it was amazing. And I wish that more and more people would embrace that. She told me, like, if I go to Italy, I don't want to eat just a Negroni. I want to eat, to drink a Negroni that has all Italian product. What else represents Italian product, if not Nonino?
There you go. Great.
And guys, sorry, now I'm gonna brag a little bit, but I'm bragging as a proud daughter, a proud granddaughter, and a proud niece. Like, we put a lot of love, a lot of passion, but sooner or later, you're being repaid. We were the very first Italian distillery and Grappa brand to be recognized as best distillery.
What she said.
So,
Awesome. So I did love these, and I am of course full of questions, and I think you just partially answered one of them. Was, if I was to bring some of these home with me, obviously you said like cocktails. I know that these drink beautifully neat. How would you drink it at your house besides dropping it on the floor?
like this. So, no.
Would you drink it on the rocks? Would you drink it neat? How would you drink it?
So, I have to say that one of my biggest inspiration in life is my grandmother. And my grandmother, she cannot drink white wine because it gives her headache.
Headaches.
So she's starting to go to restaurant and asking restaurant owner to put her grappa in a glass with ice cubes, a slice of lemon, and tonic water.
There you go, guys. Homework.
No, and
That's exactly what I wanted to know, right? So if I was to get one of these, so would you say like a little bit of soda water, lemon,
yes,
zest of lemon,
and a rosemary sprig.
a rosemary sprig?
Yes. Or for example, here in New York, because I have my base for the next 2 months in New York, they made me delicious Negroni using Moscato Grappa. It's unbelievable. The Merlot to do a twist on lemon drop. Also, if you like espresso martini, fuck vodka, put Nonino. Amazing.
So Ryan, who fortunately is not here tonight, you got me instead. So we do a radio show out of here every Saturday morning, and I make cocktails for that radio show. I'm thinking Negroni.
Oh,
So with the Moscato. All right.
you can use
Now I have
both, but
homework.
for me, because like also what the bartender told me that Merlot reminds them a little bit of Cachaska, Moscato reminds them of gin, and Chardonnay reminds them of bourbon.
Yeah, I could see that. So you could probably do maybe the Chardonnay one in a paper plane or a version of it.
Yes.
Although I prefer those, but we'll get to those in a minute.
No, but the thing is that you need this in the paper plane.
Yes, of course.
Like they are. We're skipping a product though.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We'll get back to that.
Okay.
But I'm saying like you might be able to put that in a paper plane, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
It won't be a paper. I'm Italian, so we are really like respectful of recipe. The original paper plane recipe was born with Amaro Nonino, Aperol, bourbon, and lemon juice. So like you can change it, but it's not the paper plane anymore. It's another cocktail. It can be a twist, a delicious twist on the paper plane.
Call it a crash and burn.
Yes.
Something like that. Yeah. Okay.
No, but if you don't use Nonino Grappa at that point.
All right.
So,
okay. Those were fantastic. Thank you.
So did any of you was cultural shock by me or by the Grappa?
Nope. Nobody has culture shock right now.
No,
from the
share
Grappa,
it. Share it with the crowd. Okay. And is it this different? Mm-hmm.
So the question from the audience is: they had grappa in Italy that was ice cold. Is that because it was bad grappa?
So like, guys, yes. No, it's no, it's true. Sadly, if a restaurant or a bar are giving you stuff that have been frozen, it means that that product is really, really, really shitty. Because to froze something, it's the better way to cover bad perfume and bad taste. So, no, I'm getting too rude, but like really, frozen, you could drink anything. So like, it means it's not good quality. My suggestion for grappa is to drink it chill. So fridge, not frozen. And the age grappa room temperature if it's not summer, at that point, no.
So just kind of like a wine cellar temperature. So not like not in the freezer, obviously, but even like not super chilled, right? Just slightly chilled.
Exactly.
Beautiful. I'm gonna try it.
And of course, please pair it with dessert. A little bit of biscotti and grappa, a piece of chocolate and grappa, some fresh fruit salad you pour on top Moscato Grappa. The most boring fruit salad becomes delicious.
Strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
No, it's... Yes. $12 months.
Yeah. So the question was, how long was the Chardonnay one aged for? 12 months.
And thank you for asking this question because you remind me that I didn't talk about an important thing. So, in the Italian law, if you age your grappa, you are able to write on the label in barrique or invecchiata if you age it for at least 12 months under lock and permanent control of the monopoly agency. That means that you put your grappa in an aging cellar that not even yourself could open, but you need to have a functionary from the monopoly agency that open it up so that you have a sort of identity card for each of your aging product. If you age your grappa for at least 18 months under lock and permanent control of the monopoly agency, blah, 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 you can write the name Riserva Ostravecchia. That guarantee you at least 18 months. But here the tricky part. If you age your grappa for more than 18 months and you want to declare how long you age your grappa, you need to do that with a formula. That formula is a number followed by the terms month or years. So in our case, this is not Grappa, this is Amaro, but it's Amaro Nonino Riserva, so at least 18 months, age 24 months. People that put caramel color do this little trick. Grappa 24. 24 what?
Yeah, we get a lot of products like that on our shelves. 24 what exactly?
And even if you take a Grappa the way there is written, Grappa Harvest 1990, and in the back, Grappa from the Harvest 1990, bottle 213 bottles, this is the number 12. Oh my God.
Rum is another one that does that. They'll just put numbers on the bottles and they really don't mean anything.
Okay, but like writing that it's from the Harvest 1990 means shit. Because you could have distilled that grappa from that harvest and put that grappa in stainless steel container for 45 years. So you do not have any guarantee. And if you really age your grappa for that fucking long time, why aren't you declaring it in the proper legal way? Okay, now I'm being a little bit too much of a pain in the ass. We can start drinking again.
It's fantastic.
Don't make me blush. And we can start talking about our liqueur. Because we are a family of distillers since 1897, but also we make liqueur since pretty long time. It's liqueur when there is also addition of sugar.
Yes, liqueur.
Liqueur, so I was saying...
Liquor.
Liqueur, okay. It's another tricky word for me.
It's close, you're fine. You can say either one, they know what you mean.
Thank you. So, the original recipe created in my family, the first liqueur recipe created in my family was the original recipe of Amaro Nonino that was created in 1933.
1933?
Yeah, can you say it?
1933.
Exactly.
I just wanted to say 1933.
But for tasting reason, we will start with l'aperitivo. This is the recipe of my great-grandmother. So this is my great-grandfather, this is my great-grandmother. Romantic connection. My great-grandmother became the first female master distiller in Italy because my great-grandfather got killed during Second World War. And so she had to learn how to distill and how to make liqueur to be able to support the family. And to create the first signature recipe, she used the same approach she used in the kitchen. In Italy, our cuisine, it's all about highlighting the perfume, the flavor of the ingredients that you're using. So she wanted to make something that was all natural with low sugar and it really highlighted the botanical that she used. So this is a recipe made using 18 botanicals, dry at low temperature to be able to not only respect the perfume, the taste, but also this beautiful sunshine-like yellow that is just given by the infusion. In the back of our aperitivo, we write 100% natural. But I want to highlight that it's not only 100% natural, but also vegan friendly. In Italy, we write 100% vegetable. But our importer told me that in America, it makes people think about broccoli. It doesn't have broccoli, but the thing is that a lot of aperitivo that say they are all natural, most of the time are reddish because they put cochineal, a sort of red ladybug that gives this.
Yeah.
In this case, no ladybug.
Yeah.
I don't know if you like it, but we did not put any ladybug. This is just given by the infusion. And guys, I dare you to drink any other aperitivo room temperature neat that tastes this fucking good. 20% less sugar than the average aperitif, and it's delicious. So it has this beautiful bitterness given by gentian root and rhubarb. Lot of citrus, like to me this one smells like the Amalficos a little bit. And there is also a lot of flower and these wildberry notes that are given by the grape distillate from our own vineyard. Strawberry grape distillate. In Italian, it's called fragolino, that means little strawberry, because it has these strawberry notes that are really dominant. But one moment, because this gets to a tricky part. Grape distillate and grappa, two completely different things. And I know that right now we're having also a little bit of a cultural difference because the conception of brandy in United States is different from in Europe. Brandy in here, it's basically every eau de vie, right?
Sure, any distilled fruit.
Okay. In case of Italy, I will explain you the difference between grappa, brandy, pisco, and grape distillate. So imagine to have a grape in your hand. You squeeze it. With the juice, you make the wine. With what you have in your hand, the pomace, you make the grappa. If you do not like the wine, you distill it. You make pisco. If you want to age it, you make brandy. Okay? In the case of the grape distillate, nobody makes the wine. You take the whole grape, you ferment it, and you distill it. So it's much more similar to a pear distillate or an apple distillate. It's much more aromatic and sweet than grappa, and more complex than the pisco or brandy, because we also do the aged version of the grape distillate that you're able to appreciate it a little bit in our Amaro. So this beautiful strawberry grape distillate gives this beautiful fruitiness, well-bearing notes that make our aperitivo so special. And how to drink it? Just add bubbles. Ice, lemon, grapefruit soda. It's my favorite also because I like pink.
Grapefruit soda.
So cute. It looks like a sunset with this yellowish sunshine like, and the pink, it's beautiful. Tonic water, prosecco, champagne if you feel really fancy, but also you can make a stronger spirit, stronger cocktail with this, like for example, white Negroni. So good. In New Orleans, they mix it with gin, orgeat, and passion fruit. They did a little twist on a lemon drop cocktail using Merlot, and adding a little splash of this to make it look also more yellow, more lemon-like. It was amazingly good. And the guys in Italy, we like to make things that taste delicious but also look meaningful and beautiful. And the label of our aperitivo, I love it so much because it tells you our history. My great-grandmother was the first female master distiller, but not the last one. After her, we had 3 generations of women master distiller, and we decided to put all of them on the bottle. Each woman holds a glass, and the glasses are crystal clear. So when the bottle is full, the glasses are full. When you start drinking, they get empty. You have all Nonino women toasting and cheering with you.
All right.
Thank you.
So you being the digital influencer, are you going to be able to put your picture on that bottle somewhere?
I'm going to put myself on the cup.
There you go.
But I have a head and tail to cut in the distiller before that happened.
So this is a beautiful spirit. So when I was pouring this earlier, just the smell that was coming off reminded me of limoncello. And I think that's like very subtle in here, like on the palate, but there's just so much going on there.
Right. I think it's beautiful. And also I have to say that it's beautifully dangerous because if you drink it a cocktail where you just add bubbles, because it's also contain really little sugar, it's not one bite, it's one
sip.
One sip pass for another. Like, and you can have like 3-4 cocktails with this without even getting noticed. It's
bellissimo.
È bellissimo, è buonissimo. Now, in fact, I have to say that you are kind of a quiet crowd. I'm not hearing anything like little joyful dancing. Like
I think they're captivated by you.
But like honestly, you can do that. Like normally, I never tried with bourbon, but they made me cocktail that mix it with mezcal or tequila.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
It's so good. Last night in New York, it was at a Nonino happy hour. They made me a cocktail that mixed aperitivo Nonino, mezcal, and passion fruit.
Ah, so I had a little bit of smoke in there with all of it.
It's so good. I have to say that I love mezcal.
So you're talking our language, believe it or not, pun intended, because they can see these guys and they're like, oh yeah, I can see the light bulbs going on. I want to do that. I want to do that. Especially you.
Okay, now guys, get ready because it's time to try the classic Amaro Nonino.
All
But
right.
please,
It's 1 second here. Who's had the Amaro Noninos before? See? Pretty good amount of people in this room.
so there are some people for who is the first time.
That's good.
Oh my God, guys, I'm gonna rock your world. So, Amaro Nonino, the recipe, it's the original recipe of my great-grandfather, Antonio. He created Amaro, that at the time was called Amaro Carnia, just because Amaro is an Italian tradition. And at the time, every Italian family used to have their own secret Amaro recipe. At the beginning, it was born as an unpotable Amaro, because it was without sugar, because sugar was too expensive. And so it was mostly something that was supposed to be good for your health. People made this infusion with herbs, spices that were supposed to help your health. Nonetheless, when sugar became more accessible, they started to add sugar to their unpotable Amaro and become something where they're like, oh, it's not only good for you, it's also delicious.
Yes, it is.
And the thing that my great-grandfather, being the third generation in our family of distillers, he thought, what if instead of using any neutral spirit for making the infusion, I made my Amaro using the Grappa, the foolproof Grappa for the base. And he did that, and using the spontaneous herb from our mountains, that Carnia. So he called it Amaro Carnia. Then the recipe passed from generation to generation. And when my grandmother and my grandfather created the grape distillate, and they aged it in barrique, because the grape distillate was created in 1987, so in 1992, my mom and my aunts tried the grape distillate aged 5 years. And when they tried it, as these beautiful chocolatey notes, exotic fruit notes, and I thought, what if we change for the infusion the grappa with grape distillate aged in barrique? And they did that. And they were so amazed by the result that they give to our Amaro the name quintessentia. That means reaching alchemic perfection. Boom.
Love it.
And in fact, I have to say that you cannot find a more elegant Amaro than Amaro Nonino. It's considered the most elegant Amaro in the category. And the reason is that most of the time, Amaro are kind of syrupy, fun to drink by themselves, but kind of boring to mix because mostly they bring sugar, not a lot of carte. Or they can be really alpine, almost medicinal. And it can be tough to drink by themselves. Like there are some people that do like the shot, but it's almost like a brave act. Like
yeah, like they can't taste anything if you're doing that.
yeah, it's just like,
I'll savor this for sure.
But like in cocktail, they can bring a lot. In the case of Amaro Nonino, it's delicious, neat. My grandfather's favorite way was on the rock with a slice of orange, because the orange get all soaked in the Amaro. It's like so good. But it's scientifically proven. Every cocktail with Amaro Nonino tastes better. Science. Science! Like, I swear to you guys, I remember that I used to say the only exception, because every mathematical scientific rule has an exception, was Bloody Mary. I've been to Cincinnati. Cincinnati proved me wrong. Even Bloody Mary tastes better with Amaro Nonino. In Italy, we put it in chicken broth. In summer, we make popsicle. Do you know Lindt chocolate? Chocolate Lindt.
Yeah, the Lindt's chocolate.
Okay.
Yep.
Lindt chocolate called my family and was like, first he started being like, okay, we want to make a grappa praline and it need to be your grappa. My grandfather received 90 different type of chocolate praline, and he decided to put Moscato with 70% dark chocolate. And then they call us again and be like, okay, we want to do an Amaro praline and we want it to be your Amaro. There is also the pocket Amaro praline in Italy. If coming visiting us was not enough, in all the Italian culture was not enough, you need to come to Italy for having the pocket Amaro chocolate praline. Okay. So, Amaro Nonino, magical. But
one more thing, I think, because you stressed this with me before we got on earlier. It's not regular. It's classic.
Yeah, no,
right?
because, oh my God, guys.
Here we go. I'm just mind interrupt for you guys.
No, because like I was so excited because there was one thing. So like, did you remember that I talked to you about the fact that for aging our grappa, we need to do it inside of permanent control of aging cellar under under lock and permanent control of the monopoly agency. Okay, all of this.
Yep.
The thing was that we wanted to do a Riserva version of our Amaro since forever. But the functionary of the monopoly agency, in Italy the rules are different, said to us that we were not allowed to put something that was not a spirit inside of the aging cellar. And we wanted to be able to age our Amaro with the same bonding.
Yep, the ponding. You got that.
Yes,
Yep.
that we had for our grappa. Yep. So we had to wait until 2018 to be able to make our Riserva Amaro. And when I was finally able to present it to the United States market, I was so fucking excited. I hear our distributors say, so which Amaro do you want, the Riserva or the regular? What? I was like, no, there is nothing regular about Nonino. Remember, I called my aunt and like, aunt, there is an emergency because they're starting talking about our Amaro as the regular Amaro. Like, no. So we did a little bit of brainstorming. At the beginning, I thought it was original, but then I didn't like original because this one is original as well. Classic.
Classic.
So it's classic Amaro Nonino and in the Riserva one. And if you hear anyone say regular, call me. I can teletransport in here. Like,
Don't worry, you got the first person to start correcting people.
thank you. I appreciate that. So this one was the classic Amaro Nonino. But now I would love for you to make the comparison between the classic and the Riserva. What is the Riserva? The Riserva is this, the exact same thing that you drink neat in here, put again in barrique of French oak and egg sherry for 24 months. So after the infusion, we age all of our Amaro Nonino for 24 months. And these 24 months of aging transform our Amaro into the perfect meeting point between a real aged spirit and an Amaro. The little chocolate hint turn into a chocolate explosion, and then you get the orange then transform into candied orange, then coffee, cacao, mushroom, forest floor. The texture of it get thicker, more oily because of the angel share, because this product is also non-filtered. So you get all the amazing stuff from the barrique, and it's unbelievable. Super limited edition. Like worldwide, we produce each year about 6,000 bottles. And I had a couple of times my mom and my aunt were fighting each other to be able to get more bottles for their market. So like even for Amaro Nonino Riserva, it's not a product that we present everywhere. In Italy, we say amor con amor si paga, that translates to we show love to love. So for us to be able to present also this product is in here, it's like saying, we love you guys. Thank you for supporting our brand.
Well, we love you for giving us this.
But can you taste the difference in it?
I haven't tasted the Reserva yet, but just now, but I've tasted it before.
Isn't it fun? To me, like, I don't know if you're familiar with the Sacher torte. It's a typical tart of Austria that is like a chocolate tart covered in chocolate, and in the inside there is apricot jam. To me, this tastes like a Sacher tart with inside marmalade instead of apricot jam. Like it's
Those are fantastic. I use these in a lot of cocktails. This was introduced to me by customers years ago. There was one in particular who's not here tonight, that this gentleman, Eric, who was swearing by these, and he drinks them neat. And so he, out of curiosity, got me to actually buy these. And so I brought them home, and I've been drinking them neat ever since. They're fantastic. I
thank
actually
you
love
if you're
these.
listening to.
Yeah, they're great. But and then of course the classic going into cocktails. I've made, plenty of Negronis, Boulevardiers, paper planes, and even I'm willing to bet, like, if you did this in a spritz in place of the usual one, I bet you would probably be
I have.
fantastic.
Thank you because I have a little fun fact. So the first time that we made Amaro Nonino Riserva, it was so limited that my own family give us to the sixth generation that were able to drink legally a mini bottle, 100 ml.
Legally.
No, really, like my family
They
was
make
really strict
they
about
made
it.
you wait till you were of age?
18, yes.
18. Okay.
No, like my grandfather used to make me smell the spirit, but never drink. No, he would get so angry. No, about the drinking, they were really respectful. Nonetheless, so they give us to the sixth generation this mini Amaro Riserva bottle of 100 ml, like this. One time I remember I was in Milan and I had a nasty, nasty, nasty fight with my grandmother. I was crying really heavily. And I have a bigger sister. She's the most important person in my life. But like, if you have a sister, you know what type of love there is. So she was just like, "Oh, Francesca, shut up." She brought me to the kitchen. She took a wine glass. She put some ice, Amaro Nonino Riserva from their mini, mini, mini bottle, and some champagne. I remember that I finished that. I was like, I love life. So if you're having a really shitty day, I suggest you to make yourself a spritz using Amaro Nonino Riserva and champagne and a slice of orange. All the problem gone.
Anybody regular spritz drinkers during the summer at all in here? There's a couple. Yeah. This I think would go fantastic. Yeah, this definitely sounds like a holiday type. I'm
Yeah.
using the European version of holiday. Vacation. Yeah, right, exactly. Oh my gosh, what'd you guys think? Does anybody have any? Yeah.
One moment, guys, let's make a story. No, so like, so I can brag with my family. Otherwise, I do not believe that I work. So can you please keep clapping? I need to bring proof.
Awesome. Does anybody have any other questions? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bring it up. The question is, does Francesca have any relatives here in New England? Because she speaks just like an authentic New Englander. I think she does.
Thank you. I think that, like, honestly, no, this means so much to me because, like, I had a moment in my life where I feeling like I was like, oh my God, I was rocking with my English. Like, I feel almost like a native. Then, just like, I got stuck. Then sometimes it was getting worse, worse, worse. You know, and then, like,
You're fine. I don't think there's like anything. I like.
that I said that we were the world champions because we were the first distillery, Italian distillery in Grappa brand to be recognized as best distillery of the world. Nonetheless, guys, I have to tell you this thing. For me, speaking in English, it's kind of okay because nobody's recording me. So, like, even if I say do a mistake, who cares? It's not. Oh, I won't see this again. I don't want to see myself again.
You're all
Nonetheless,
over the place. Don't worry about it, Ryan. I'll make sure this gets posted every corner of the globe.
damn. Nonetheless,
You did
since I
fantastic.
no,
You
but
got
like
enough of
since
it.
I'm in America, my importer asked me to do my Instagram stories in English, and the other day I wanted to kill myself because I try also to write stuff, and when I write, I'm the worst. And I was having a burger, and at a certain moment, I have to tell you this thing. Like for me, I've been to this place in New York having a burger, and it was just like being in a documentary. It was so exciting, almost exotic for me, because first thing they brought me this giant burger and I was like a mess. Everything like was falling down, and I remember I saw this 70 years old woman. She was the most elegant woman I ever saw in my life. I don't even think that Queen Elizabeth they eat in a that elegant way. Like she was just like I was
Dainty.
just like that.
So you
And
fit
so
right in with the Americans then. So you're all good.
no, no, no. All the American, like there was this man that was putting the pickles perfectly on the bun, like to be able to cover every little inch of the bun. And I was having like pieces of burger falling apart. Nonetheless, I wanted to share my experience and also the fact that I failed because I love eating stuff with my hand, but I did such a mess that I had to take
I think that's
a knife
perfectly normal.
and a fork.
I think we all failed if you failed, like,
But
come
one moment,
on.
now I arrived at the terrible part. I took a picture, and you need to know that as the TF, like even the GH and the F sounds really similar to us. And instead of writing knife and fork, I wrote knight and fork.
Still works.
No, I was like, oh my God, I'm so dumb.
Well, we can clearly see why you are, in charge of the digital content creator, and
Because I cannot spell knife.
neither can anybody else on the internet. So I think you're good there. All
Thank you.
right. Does anybody else have any other questions for Francesco? Yes, we still have more questions. What's your favorite meal
That
that
my nonna?
your nonna
Okay.
makes you?
So thank you because this question allowed me to show you another thing. So one beautiful thing about another amazing thing about Grappa is the fact that Grappa is a circular economy. So like we take what's supposed to be the leftover from wineries, but we do not collect the palmas from every wineries. They need to make the best wine. We want grape that has been pressed in a really gentle way. We distill our Grappa, but we did distill palmas. We do not just waste them. They become a delicious fertilizer. My grandma fertilizer garden with the distilled palmas. And with this garden, she grew this. This is my hand.
Those peppers are huge.
No, are not peppers, are tomatoes.
Tomatoes, excuse me. It looked like a bell pepper from that angle, but those tomatoes are ginormous.
Like they're just tomatoes this big. And guys, do not ask me if we sell it. We need to eat tomato pasta. We are all the family and we eat pasta every day. But with those tomatoes, my grandmother make the best tomato sauce of your life. And for the people that are willing to come visit us, we pay you not only with the best grappa and spirit of your life, because in Italy you're gonna be able to drink all the stuff that we cannot import in the United States. For example, the pure honey spirit. It's not grappa with honey. It's honey distilled. And it's unbelievable good because it's just like you're really able to understand what is distillation because you're able to smell honey, to taste honey, but not the sweetness. Because to be able to distill, you need to ferment, so transform sugar into alcohol. All the pure ginger distillate made with Sicilian organic ginger. All the different type of aged grappa. We age grappa since 28 years. So we're gonna make you drink so much and we're gonna feed you the best tomato pasta of your life. Maybe my grandma will slap you, but it's gonna be a love slap. And we cannot wait to host you. You can go to sleep looking at artisanal pot still and surviving the Italian experience.
I can tell these guys want a road trip desperately now. See, look.
Northeast, we are
Every
1
hand
hour
just
from
went up.
Venice. So you can do Venice and our distillery in 1 weekend.
Wow.
But somebody has to drive, not me.
All right. Any more questions for Francesca? What other products do the Nonino family
So,
create?
whew. So like we have all the traditional grappa, that is grappa made with the blend type of pomace, red and white. We have, for example, vendemmia, that means harvest, that is millesime grappa, so grappa that is made only with the harvest of specific year, because sometimes you distill and then you put your grappa in stainless steel container to be able to blend different harvests, to be able to keep consistent the flavor, because harvest by harvest, the taste of the pomace may change.
Sure.
Maybe slightly different. We have ruta grappa, and when I was little was one of my favorite because it has this beautiful ruta herb inside and look almost like something magical, you know, a potion. So beautiful. We have all the indigenous grape varietal from Friuli. Oh, I didn't tell you this, but it's getting tricky because I tried to summarize 128 years of history, but the reality is that when my grandmother and my grandfather created the first single varietal grappa, they started with an indigenous varietal of Friuli Venezia Giulia, which is called Piccolit. It's called Piccolit because the grape are really small, because the production of this grape it's so limited. Only few flowers turn into grape, but those grapes are almost like nectar. Consider that in the past they used to make Piccolit wine only for the Pope. Farmers were supposed to grow it, but they were not able to drink the wine. And so she wanted to start, my grandmother, with the most precious indigenous varietal of our region, because of course we wanted to celebrate our own culture. Nonetheless, after the success of the first single varietal grappa, they wanted to distill another single varietal grappa from an indigenous grape varietal, but this time a red one. Schioppettino, it's typical from our region. But the thing was that when my grandmother went to the winemakers to ask to keep the Schioppettino pomace separate from the other, the winemakers this time didn't say to her, "You're crazy," because they already did that for the Piccolit. But I told them, my mom, to my grandmother and my grandfather, "We can do this, but the problem is that we cannot write on the document that allowed us then to write Schioppettino single varietal grappa, that these are Schioppettino pomace, because Schioppettino became illegal." What? Schioppettino, Tazzelenghe, Ribolla Gialla, e Pignolo, all indigenous varietal from our region.
What she said.
Exactly. Became illegal because when we enter in the European Communion, people that were supposed to declare which vitis vinifera we had in our region completely forgot about those four. But my grandmother was like, okay, well, we cannot forget our own culture and start only to growing and distilling international grape varietal. We need to protect them. How to do that? She thought about doing a prize a monetary prize for the winemakers. They would put the best vines of one of these grape varietal. But when they do the announcement of this monetary prize, the organs that make this variety become illegal, said that whoever would put into grow any of these vines, they would go set on fire.
They'd set them on fire.
Not the people, but the vines. But my grandmother,
Well, sometimes the people too, maybe.
maybe, I was not there. You need to ask my grandma. But my grandmother did not accept this. And this time she thought, you know what? This prize need to have a jury. We're going to put in the jury the same people that were supposed to set on fire the vines. She put them on the jury. And in 3 years, this grape varietal became recognized. And after they were able to get recognized, the Piccoli Pignolo, Schioppettino, e Tazzalenghe, they decided not to stop the Nonino Prize, but they transformed Nonino Prize into a prize that was supposed to celebrate rural culture. This prize became an international prize, and in 50 years, because it was made in 1975, the Nonino International Prize anticipated 6 Nobel Prizes. We had in our distillery 6 Nobel Prizes that before won the Nonino Prize. And this only because my grandmother and my grandfather wanted to make the best grappa in the world. And when I think about that, it'll always give me goosebumps.
So you want 6 Nobel Prizes? That's what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is that in these 50 years of the Nonino Prize that was being recognized to people from all over the world, maybe you may hear of an Applebaum.
Applebaum?
An Applebaum?
Apple tray.
Applebaum.
Applebaum.
I don't know how to pronounce that, but like, for example, do you know Giorgio Parisi? He won the Nonino Prize in 2005 and he won the Nobel Prize
I gotcha.
in 2015.
The international prizes. Yeah.
Yeah, so people that first get the Nonino Prize then get recognized with the Nobel Prize.
Yes. So, Nonino, you have your prizes to give out. I understand. Yep.
You need to drink Nonino. No. The thing is that the more Nonino you drink, the higher are the possibility to win a Nobel Prize. Scientifically proven.
Go science. Do we have any more questions?
Okay. Nobel. Okay.
All right. So what I'm going to do here is everybody stay put. I have some more things to bring up, and I'm going to shut off the recording here. Where is the